I have been making YouTube videos consistently for 2 years straight. And if it's one thing I've learned, it's that you should never tell people that you care about that you have a YouTube channel. Between unwanted criticism and increased scrutiny, these are some of the things that might actually hinder your progress that I learned from and how I was able to pivot away from them in order to grow my following slowly over time. Because if there's one thing that I learned, it's that you're better off keeping your journey to yourself, letting people find you organically and letting people who are naturally into the topics that you speak about find your YouTube channel. Not only will it help your growth, but it'll aid in your confidence as well. Here's some of my mistakes and how I learned from them. Starting with number one. When I first made a channel, it was 2012, and I was making way different content than I do now. I think it was like hair content, really just random things, somewhat vlog-ish type stuff. And when I first made this channel, I was telling every single person who I could tell about this channel. Everyone that I knew, who I loved and cared about, knew about this channel. Boy, did it open up some doors that I did not think would be open. I found myself having to explain why I said certain things in videos over dinner, or having to justify some purchase that I made in a haul, or having to confront the fact that I didn't open up about a specific aspect of my life to friends who I spend a lot of time with. I found that oftentimes when I would invite people into this world of mine that knew me in real life, it was like holding up a mirror to parts of myself that I didn't want to share with people that I knew in real life. And I was not ready to combat that. Honestly, at the end of the day, it just became so overwhelming to be taking in so much feedback in real time, to the point where I started being worried about what people would say to me next time they saw me if they saw a video, or worried that I was being judged by people that cared about me because I said something that they might not have agreed with. So what is the lesson in this? Don't tell people about your YouTube channel or to watch out for your videos if you're not prepared to justify your actions, face criticism, and intake a lot of feedback in real time. If you're not ready to do that, if hearing feedback, having to justify yourself, and having to defend your actions is something that's exhausting to you, then you're better off not telling anyone who you know about your YouTube channel. Now let's move on to number two. I found that once people knew about my YouTube channel, they fell into two main categories. The first category being hypervigilance. They were very policey. They were watching everything that I did. They were keeping track of, like I said, purchases I made, facts that I stated, some of my interests. And it was very much more negative than positive. And then in the second camp, they made fun of me. They weren't necessarily interested in what I was doing. They didn't care about the image that I was portraying, but they found it funny. They found it odd to see someone on YouTube maybe being more outgoing than they are in person, or, you know, just expressing interest in things that they haven't expressed in the group setting before. And so I was either being criticized for being too flagrant or animated online, or I was in group chats that I didn't know existed until one of my tertiary friends told me about it. And both of those are pretty embarrassing, humiliating, and uncomfortable. So that's just the second thing that I noticed happened, other than, you know, people just not caring. So what is the lesson in this? Honestly, to me, getting negative feedback, not necessarily kind, being made fun of, being shamed for something that you're doing, being ridiculed for something that you're into, that's a confidence killer. And if you don't have a tough skin and you're not ready for that type of interactions with people that you love and respect, again, don't tell people about your YouTube channel. These are all things that happened to me when I first started that now I'm okay with as I've gotten older, but as a 21, 22-year-old, I just couldn't handle. So the lesson in this is to just, like I said, don't tell the people what you did. Don't share your videos for people to watch if you're not ready for that feedback, and just let them maybe find you organically. If a friend finds your video organically because they typed in something that has to do with what you've posted, that means that they already have an interest in that item. They already have an interest in that topic, and you have less of a chance of being made fun of. So you never know what surprises could come if people find you organically. A lesson that I learned 10 years too late. And the third thing that happened when I prematurely told people that I knew in real life about my YouTube channel is that it exposed the fact that I wasn't ready to be consistent. There was a time when I, after going through the first lesson and the second lesson, being made fun of, being criticized, becoming very hyper self-vigilant of things that I was doing and saying, that my mood was killed. My confidence was so low and it was a bummer. I didn't feel necessarily ready or safe or strong enough to continue to do YouTube. And so those few friends that did want to see what I was doing, those few friends that were interested in my content would come to me and be like, hey, you didn't post a video this week. You missed one. I thought that your upload days were supposed to be on, Sundays. And it exposed that I wasn't ready to be consistent. People knowing that you're going to be posting to your YouTube channel and expecting it to be at 9 a.m. every Sunday, they're still going to be waiting whether or not you were made fun of or not. And so the beauty of letting people find you organically is that you don't have to necessarily worry about judgment, because the people that are watching you, for the most part, are into what you are into. You guys share the same hobby, interest, and topic. And so they look forward to seeing those videos every week, as opposed to maybe a friend who's known you since you were 5 years old and can't take you seriously because what do you mean you have 6 figures saved in an investment account? Who cares that you went to a vacation in Thailand last summer? Why are you bragging so much about your accomplishments, right? Because this person knows you as Henry from 2 Doors Down in 2003. So why is it a mistake to tell people prematurely in terms of consistency? Because as you guys know, I'm sure you've heard, when you are telling people that you're going to do something and you let them know of your plan, your brain already has that dopamine hit. So you feel accomplished. That's not going to help push you to do what you need to do every single time. That's definitely not what pushed me to make 1 video a week for 2 years straight. But keeping it a secret definitely helped, because people didn't necessarily expect much from me. They just happened to find a random YouTube video about moving away from your hometown. And then when they click on my channel, they see other things related to personal finance and growth and development. And they're like, okay, this is interesting. But because they don't know me, they're not comfortable enough to send me a text message and be like, are you gonna post at this time? Why aren't you posting at this time? Are you making a video yet? I'm not being bugged because nobody knows who I am. Telling people prematurely in terms of consistency could also overwhelm you and give you sort of an analysis paralysis thing. I know when I was dealing with this, I found myself needing my videos to be absolutely flawless. And I was hyper analyzing everything, every mannerism, whether or not I had things in my teeth. I was putting on pounds of makeup just so that I would look my absolute best for people that I knew I would see in college the next day. It just honestly skewed my expectations of myself, and it made it so that I was performing for people who I was, at the end of the day, trying to earn their respect through presentation. It was very much a performance and very cringe. So what's the lesson in this? The lesson is to start small and increase incrementally as you feel stronger. So when I first started this YouTube channel, I started with 1 video a week, and I made sure to pre-record 8 videos, so that way I had 8 weeks in between if I needed to. If I ever felt down 1 week, or if I got sick, if I lost motivation, or if I needed more time to brainstorm, I always make sure to have at least 8 videos pre-recorded, because that takes off a lot of pressure. When you first start a YouTube channel, if you do start small, say you have twice a month as your schedule, that's not the end of the world. It doesn't have to be every week or multiple times a week. It just has to be consistent, because once YouTube picks up your schedule, it'll start to reward you for being consistent. I didn't notice a big change until about 6 or 7 months. And once I hit that year mark, I really started seeing things pick up. Around the holidays is when it usually picks up as well. So just, making your evergreen content, making content that is timeless, and just staying consistent, showing up, doing it for yourself as well. Not necessarily focusing on the numbers, the subscribers, all of that stuff, but doing it because you like it, because you just want to keep this sort of video diary for those people that find interest in what you talk about. that helped me to stay consistent. So that is the lesson. Start small and work your way up as you feel stronger. Those are the 3 reasons why I do not share my YouTube channel with people that I know, and why I keep it to myself, why I value the people that find me organically and the community that we are building here. I would be nothing without you guys. I so enjoy making YouTube videos and talking to you all. And I wanna know in the comments what you guys think. This isn't just about YouTube. This goes far beyond to anything that you are interested in or that you have a passion about. I wanna know in the comments if you've dealt with loved ones kind of putting a damper on something that you care about and how you handled those situations. What were your lessons learned? That's what I want to know in the comments below. Let me know in the comments and I will see you in the next video.